Season alive. Griffin Hughes winds, and the first pitch of the ball game is low, and we are underway. Griffin Hughes winds, and the first pitch of the ball game is low, and we are underway. Louisville put up 8 runs yesterday without Lucas Moore reaching base, which is pretty remarkable for the speedy center fielder. Hits it in the air, shallow left. It's the shortstop, Jake Ogden, going out to make the catch. And the leadoff man gone here in the first. Griffin Hughes has been outstanding for Miami on the mound this year.
Listen, Griffin Hughes, he's their guy. He's the Friday night starter for this team. You need a Friday night starter that's just going to be in attack mode, and that's what he really does. 94 strikeouts on the year, 90 innings. He's just coming off a regional where he went complete game against a Columbia team that can really swing the bat. 123 pitches.
The first pitch to Matt Klein misses high, 1-0. There's a little history between these two. Hughes is a transfer from Cincinnati. He made a midweek appearance against Louisville back in 2023 and gave up Matt Klein's first collegiate home run. Takes in the dirt, it's 2-0. No, it hit him, and Louisville has their first base runner of the game. In that outing for Hughes, just in case you were curious, he actually pitched pretty well outside of the home run inning in 2/3, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts in that one.
Now, Hughes does have a curveball and a slider. And I guess that one they're saying just nicked the back foot of Matt Klein.
Miami does not challenge, so Klein is aboard with 1 out for Zion Rose, the talented sophomore who led this Louisville team and runs batted in this season. Takes a breaking ball low, 1-0. Rose on the year with 12 home runs and 30 stolen bases. Converted catcher now playing the outfield. Gets a start in left field today. A strike and the count 1-1. And he has a very good chance to be a high draft pick next year.
He's an exceptional player. Zion Rose, I know that you're definitely high on him with the numbers and what he can do with the bat and defensively.
The 1-1 to the Chicago native is a strike at the bottom of the zone, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, that's when Griffin Hughes is at his best. The fastball is going to be anywhere from 91 to 94. I've actually seen him touch 95, 96 before as well with that fastball. When he's down in the zone, he is really, really effective.
But so far, the rain has held off and is expected to. He can complete 9 innings in plenty of time. First pitch to Ogden is fouled to the plate. It's 0-1. Jake Ogden is Miami's Mr. Everything. The transfer from UNC Greensboro is a team leader. He's filled a variety of positions, and even though he was a third baseman at Greensboro, he plays a really nice shortstop here for Miami. Fouled away, it's 0-2.
Yeah, I remember talking to J.D. Arteaga about, Ogden, and they were kind of trying to get him to maybe even play a little bit of first base to see what they could do to maybe get some more offense in the lineup. But at the end, he said, I can't take him away from shortstop. He's just too good over there.
0-2, fouled off. The coaching staff uses Jake Ogden as an example. Even when he makes a mistake, it's like, but listen, he went about things the right way. Right. He's just a nearly perfect player in that regard for J.D. Arteaga, as you see the second-year head coach from Miami. Which feels a little misleading seeing as he's been on staff here for 23 years. Ogden down the left field line. That will two-hop into the corner. Extra bases for the Miami leadoff man. And he's at second with nobody out to start the bottom of the first.
Now, this is something that Miami was able to do in yesterday's ballgame. They had a bunch of chances, especially early on in the game. And Ogden here, he was getting beat yesterday with that fastball up. So, of course, Tucker Biven is going to try to utilize that pitch. This time, though, he able to stay on top and drive that ball to left and get himself into scoring position early.
The one guy who had a really good day offensively overall yesterday was Galvin, as you mentioned at the outset. 3 hits for him, as many as the rest of his teammates. First pitch taken outside by Galvin. Galvin, a transfer from Oklahoma State. You see the numbers from Miami. They had yesterday bases loaded, 1 out in the second inning, bases loaded, 1 out in the third inning, and second and third 2 outs with their best hitter, Daniel Cuvée, at the plate. and got 1 run out of those 3 situations. Galvin to left field. Rose got turned around a little bit, but he'll make the catch. Ogden tagging from second, heading to third, and the throw's offline. An aggressive base running move by Ogden to get 90 feet away.
For a second there, I was just thinking that maybe Ogden was going to bluff. But I think because Rose had to keep going back and got turned around like you talked about, that put something in Ogden's brain thinking, I can get to third, and ends up getting the extra 90, getting himself into scoring position for Daniel Cuvée.
The ACC's RBI leader, an all-first-team selection. He was the top freshman in the conference a year ago, and he swings and pops it up. On the right side of the infield, Kamayu Neighbors waving for it, and Tate Davis, the first baseman, makes a catch, colliding with Neighbors for out number 2. Having a conversation now, you were first baseman.
Well, here's the reason.
Charge.
Well, the problem is that Neighbors was playing on the other side of second base. They were playing Cuvée for straight pull mode. And because of that, Davis is looking at it. He feels like he has to go get it. And I don't think that he heard Neighbors calling for it. But, I mean, he does have the height advantage. So
there's a big difference between Kamayu Neighbors and Tag Davis. Billy Van Raphorst, our home plate umpire, trying to make sure that Tucker Biven is locked in on Dorian Gonzalez Jr., the senior 4-year contributor. Miami native takes a breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. See Matt Klein behind the plate, and Gonzalez, 11 home runs on the season and 3 in the regionals. All 3 of his hits, including a grand slam, were home runs. Big breaking ball strike, it's 1-1. Gonzalez, an excellent defender. He's not your traditional cleanup hitter, although there has been more power this season. The 1-1, fouled away. He's an important leader on this Miami roster. He's got a chance to give them the lead here in the bottom of the first as the Louisville fans come to their feet. The 1-2. In the air to left, going back on it, Rose, still going back, and he makes the over-the-shoulder catch for out number 3. What a play by Zion Rose. Not an easy read for the out. J.D. Arteaga, a staple of this Miami program for nearly 3 decades. Eddie King Jr., the most outstanding player in the Nashville Regional, takes a strike from Griffin Hugas. It's 0-1. Gabby, you saw Hugas in the regional throw that complete game against Columbia. That put Miami up 2-0 in that regional as King grounds past a diving Cuvée into left field for a leadoff single. What, in your mind, was the big key for Griffin Hugas in that game against a Columbia team that could really hit and that had upset the number 1 seed Southern Miss in the opener?
Well, you know what's funny is that when you kind of look at the numbers and you go by the numbers, he's usually mostly a fastball slider type pitcher. He utilized the curveball a lot more against Columbia. All of a sudden here against Louisville, you're seeing the curveball being utilized a lot more, and it's a good 12-6er. It's got that up and down rather than that slider that has that more of a tilt.
Garrett Pike hit an opposite field home run yesterday to start the scoring for Louisville as he takes a strike.
Also, when he's down in the zone, he'll get the ground balls. When he's up in the zone, there's a lot more fly balls because that guys will kind of get underneath it. So when he is staying down, you saw it in that first inning, he was able to get the ground ball to roll the double play.
About 1-to-1 ground balls to fly balls this season for him. Actually, a little bit more better ground ball pitcher against left-handed hitters, which is interesting because he doesn't use a changeup a lot. A lot of times you would think that with a righty that gets ground balls from lefties, but I wonder if it's that curveball. He does use that a fair amount against them.
Yeah, against lefties, he will throw the curveball, but still it's a lot of like sliders and fastballs early.
Rip foul.
One of the things is too, and we were talking with JD about this, was about controlling the running game. And of course, you're looking at a Louisville team that, boy, they like to run, and they like to run often. Eddie King Jr., he's 4 out of 5 in solo bases, so he's not the biggest threat in this Louisville lineup to steal. But he said that for Griffin Hugas, he's a lot better at controlling that running game, and he's a little bit quicker to home.
Throw over and the runner's back. That's a great point. I mean, we spent time at the outset of this broadcast talking about how good Louisville's pitching has been, but really offense has been their calling card. They were one of the top scoring teams in the ACC. I think only Duke scored more runs per game than them over the course of the season. And they have a lot of different ways that they can beat you. We saw the power game yesterday, but speed, lots of doubles. They play a very aggressive brand under Dan McDonald. 1-2 the count to Garrett Pike. The right fielder fouls it back. Now remains 1-2. Huga's trying to go up in the zone against the lefty.
It's not a bad pitch, especially after those fastballs being down, down, down. That one just didn't get it up enough, but he was trying to attack that top part, to me, maybe to try to bring that curveball down here.
The 1-2. Big breaking ball misses. It's 2-2. It looked like it slipped out of his hand a little bit. Didn't have a real good grip on it.
Here's the right thought process, right? You go up with that fastball, and you come back with that breaking ball, which before earlier on in the season, he was utilizing the slider more than he was utilizing that big breaker.
Throw over, and King is back. Obviously, Miami very concerned about the running game, although it wasn't, again, they stole one base yesterday, did Louisville. Smith has been fairly successful throwing out base runners this year, about 26%. Pitch high, and the count goes full to Pike. A very good at bat from the Toledo transfer. Huga's taking a little extra time here before he climbs back on the rubber. Set. Let's see if King's running. He's not. And the 3-2 hits him, and the first two have reached for Louisville in the second. And here comes Jake Monroe, who was the big offensive star yesterday. You see what he did in game one against Miami, a one-man wrecking crew, that three-run homer, capping a five-run third inning that put Louisville in complete control. Champaign, Illinois native, transfer from John A. Logan Community College in Illinois. A big spot here early with a chance to get the lead. First pitch, misses 1-0. It feels like an early swing moment here, Gabby, after Miami had the leadoff man at second in the bottom of the first.
We saw that kind of happen in yesterday's ball game too, where they had bases loaded and couldn't get one across in the second. Louisville came back in that bottom of the inning and went back-to-back home runs, and Jake Monroe was the second of that back-to-back.
Here's the 1-1. Grounder to the middle, gloved by Ogden, and he'll start the 6-4-3 double play. And Hugas again gets a double play ball for the second straight inning. Nicely done. Squad. He is the son of former #2 overall draft pick Ben Davis, the Phillies broadcaster. That one fouled away. It's 0-1. He has had a very impressive freshman campaign. A freshman home run record here. Tied for fourth in the ACC this season. Eddie King Jr. away from third. Breaking ball down low, 1-1.
Yeah, it looks like that breaking ball too. He's pulling to the lefties. He has two hit by pitches today, both of them on that pitch.
Hugas set, and the 1-1 to Davis. It's 2-1.
Yeah, you have to be careful too with Davis, especially with that elevated pitch. Those pitches up in the zone, Davis absolutely crushes. So Hugas, to try to get Davis house, has to stay down in the zone.
He lines it foul. Right field side, 2-2. It's so unusual, right, for a left-handed hitter to be a better high ball hitter, especially one where you think of with power, right? You think of lefties dropping the head of the bat on something low and launching it.
He is more kind of, if you throw it up, that swing path that he has, It is perfectly made for that pitch out over the plate and up.
2-2. Breaking ball down low, and the count goes full to the freshman. Louisville had the first 2 on in this inning, now 2 outs, and the potential go-ahead run at third. Hugus deals with the dangerous power-hitting Davis. The 3-2, way high and outside, ball 4, and the inning continues. Well, you talked about him tugging on a couple of breaking balls. He's also had a couple that he hasn't been able to finish. It seems like he's still trying to find maybe his release point on that.
Trying to find the release point, and you see sometimes he's releasing a little bit too late. Those are the ones that he's pulling. Then all of a sudden he feels that, okay, you know what, maybe open up just a little bit. Those are getting away from him arm side. So just kind of trying to figure out, okay, where is this pitch supposed to be? I think that's also why Laz Gutierrez is probably walking out there to try to just get him to maybe give him a little bit of pointers. And usually in these kind of situations, you have a pitching coach that will tell you 1 or 2 little things, quick pointers to get you back on track. Hey, let's get over the ball, or whatever it might be, those key phrases that he can give to a pitcher. And it's quick, which is going to be a quick visit, and you get out.
Gutierrez is an outstanding mental skills coach. In fact, he and Hugus have built a really strong relationship because of that. Former scout for the Red Sox who was telling us stories about scouting a young Gabby Sanchez when he was in Double-A.
That's a good man. We went to the same high school. Laz Gutierrez did. He was the first one to actually go to a big Division I school, which was University of Miami.
Kamayu Neighbors, the transfer from Cal State Northridge, takes a strike, 0-1. Neighbors is the leader of this team in a lot of ways. He has the respect of all of his teammates, and this is just his first year in the program. Former JUCO player at Long Beach before going to CSUN last year to play for the Matadors. 0-2 the count. The pitch to the switch hitter, bounced foul.
Hugus right now just trying to exploit that inside part of the plate to Kamayu Neighbors. Got 2 fastballs called on that inside, try to expand a little bit more. Neighbors this time fouled it off.
8 pitches in the first for Hugus. This will be his 22nd pitch in the second inning. The delivery, down low. Neighbors able to hold off. It's 1-2.
I thought he was kind of set up there maybe for a changeup down and away. He will throw changeups to lefties, not really to righties.
Runners get their lead at the corners, and the 1-2 to Neighbors. Called strike 3. Fastball came back to the corner, and Neighbors rung up with runners at the corners. Hugus gets out of the jam and posts a 0. In the middle of America's heartland, there are a few collegiate events that are known just by the name of the city. Omaha coming soon.
I thought you were saying 6 days until I'm on that boat that was on the water.
I mean, if we want to rent a speedboat in Omaha, I'm all for it. Derek Williams, the transfer from Wichita State, leads off for Miami, getting a start in right field today. It's a 1-1. He'd been out of the lineup for a month and a half because of a broken hand, and when he went down, he was the leading home run hitter for UM. This is his first appearance in the field, though, as he'd been DHing. Fabio Peralta had started in right and gets the afternoon off with Jake Kulikowski serving as the DH. One and 2 the count to Williams. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Leadoff man gone here in the Miami section. Saw Tony Vitello, the Tennessee coach, a former assistant to Dave Van Horn. Dave Van Horn on the short list of the best coaches in America to never win a national championship. And there might be a little bit of a rivalry there between Tennessee and Arkansas.
That should be an interesting one.
Renzo Gonzalez takes outside. Slick fielding first baseman ahead in the count 2-0.
There's going to be a lot of fans there.
Baum Walker Stadium at Fayetteville is one of the great environments in college baseball. And like all the things that you think about Arkansas sports and sporting events absolutely happen. There's the calling of the pigs. They have the hog pen out in left field that there's, I mean, literally a mad dash to get into. It's an incredible environment, and when they're facing a rival, look out. Now Lisea throws out Gonzalez, 2 up, 2 down for Miami in the second of this scoreless game.
You talk about a mad dash. We almost got trampled today when we were talking with the coaches coming in. All the fans coming in to get to that left field fence area, the home run zone. All I hear is sorry, 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 sorry as they're just running past us.
You remember when you were in grade school and they told you not to run in the hallways and you would walk really fast, right? That's what everybody looked like. It was like somebody was like, do not run out to the berm. And so everybody just tried to walk as quickly as they could. Maybe a little bit of a trot, yeah, but it was waves of people going out there. Tanner Smith bats, transfer from Oregon State. Basha High School in Chandler, Arizona product, chops this one foul. It's 1-1. Smith won a number of transfers on this Miami roster as they reshaped from last year's club that failed to make a regional. He really took on the leadership role right away. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Louisville's fans to their feet again. And the 1-2 outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, if Louisville wins, they go to Omaha. Miami needs to win to force a decisive Game 3 tomorrow. The 2-2. Foul back. Smith fighting to stay alive.
Now, one of the things with Tucker Piven, too, is that he's got that location working with the fastball. Kind of like what we've seen with Griffin Hugas, working that low part of the zone with the fastball against these Miami hitters.
2-2. Foul away again.
Definitely a change from yesterday's starter, Patrick Forbes, who was utilizing that fastball up in the zone the whole entire game.
Piven trying to slow his heartbeat down with those deep breaths. The 2-2. Fouled away again.
Piven got that one up to 96 miles an hour. Usually will stay at about 93, 94. But he does have a little extra in his back pocket whenever he wants to unleash the fastball.
Smith has made him work the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and the catcher takes outside, and the count goes full. 2 outs, nobody on, last of the second, no score. The payoff. Upstairs, ball 4, it's a 2-out walk.
What an at-bat by Tanner Smith. Just battling, fouling off some tough pitches, staying with it, and ends up winning that battle.
Jake Kulikowski will hit. This is just Kulikowski's 4th start of the year. He was a very highly touted recruit a year ago. You see the numbers in just 25 at-bats this year. He has impressive raw power. The question yesterday for J.D. Arteaga was, with Fabio Peralta struggling, do you keep the elite defender in right field and DH Derek Wallace, or do you try to play for more offense? And today he decided to play for more offense with the season on the line.
Yeah, one of the things, too, is with Peralta, better on the fastball than he is on breaking ball. But I think that for J.D. Arteaga, he said, you know what, I need to add some more offense. And right now, you know, Fabio Peralta not really swinging the bat well. Kulikowski, let's see if he can get in there and do something in the bottom of that lineup.
Here comes the 1-0. It's 2-0, and now he's at a count where you worry about him doing damage. Again, not that many plate appearances this year, but the big power reputation as a prep athlete. You can see it in BP.
Yeah, BP is impressive. Now, no home runs on the year. If I'm him, I'm sitting straight dead red fastball. Try to catch it out in front.
2-0. Takes inside, 3-0 to the number 8 hitter.
Now the question is, do you let him swing or do you have him take? And I think in this situation, since he hasn't been playing, I've got to give him a take sign just to kind of see where that pitch is and not get a little too aggressive.
The 3-0. He is taking, takes a strike. It's 3-1. I think the other part of that is, boy, you would love to get the number 9 hitter to the plate here in this inning, right? With Michael Torres on deck. Can you turn your lineup over is the big question. Still a good hitter's count at 3-1. Toss over to first and Smith dives back.
Yeah, Smith's not going to be going anywhere. Kulikowski kind of has to look maybe for that same location that he just got on 3-0, and that pitch is going to be a little bit middle in. Something to be able to drive it to right field.
The 3-1. Bounce to first and pass Davis into right field. Smith will get to third. Kulikowski delivers a 2-out single. And Miami has them at the corners with 2 outs in the second. And they have had a lot of these opportunities early in these 2 games so far in Super Regionals and have really not been able to cash them in. They could use a big hit from the 9-hitter, Michael Torres.
Yeah, they even had it in that first inning, had a chance with Jake Ogden at third. You had the right guy up, and Daniel Cuvée couldn't get him in. Now you're in the same situation. You got first and third with 2 outs, and you're looking for a big hit from Michael Torres.
Torres entered regionals hitting under 200, but one of the first things you said, having done the Hattiesburg Regional where Miami was the surprise winner, you were really impressed with his at-bats.
Yeah, his at-bats were a lot better, especially in that regional. He was taking some long at-bats, but he was driving the ball. He did not look overmatched at all.
Excellent defender in center field. The first pitch to Torres, taken low, 1-0. Miami looking for their first hit with a man in scoring position. Over these first 2 games, they are 0 for 14, which shows you how many opportunities they've had, but how they haven't been able to cash them in yet. The 1-0. Breaking ball in the dirt, it's 2-0. And now Torres in the driver's seat here as the strike zone starting to elude Bivin a little bit. And Roger Williams, the longtime pitching coach for Louisville, is going to head out to the mound.
You got a situation, too, where if you're Louisville, you want to go right after Torres. You don't want this lineup to get flipped. You got Jake Ogden sitting on the on-deck circle. He had a great at-bat, his first one. It ended with him hitting an extra base hit, a double on a fastball up in the zone to left field. So right now, if I'm Michael Torres, I kind of look on deck and I know, okay, I do have Ogden. They don't probably want to get to him, so they're going to try to come after me. I'm going to be looking for something that I can handle, and I'm going to look more to the middle part of the plate. I don't want something that's going to be in. For me, when Torres is at his best, it's when he's getting something that's out over plate, not when he's getting something that's in.
Yeah, not a whole lot of power, but seems to use the middle of the field pretty well.
Yeah, he does. He uses the middle of the field, and not only that, those pitches that are out over the plate, those are the ones that he can actually pull into that 3-4 hole.
Conference over, runners get their lead at the corners, and that one lined into left field, a base hit, and Miami has the lead. Their first hit with men in scoring position in the Super Regional makes it 1-0 Hurricanes as the number 9 hitter delivers.
Well, and that's what you got to do in that situation. It's a 2-0 count. Looking for a fastball, something in the middle part of the plate, staying on it, driving it the opposite way. And how about the 9-hole hitter, Michael Torres, coming up big for Miami?
Look at what the opportunities that they had in this rally all started with 2 outs. Bivin got the first 2 easily in the inning. Lineup turns over for Ogden. Throw to second on the runner back. Ogden 8 home runs on the year. Had so many big moments, both offensively, defensively, even base running wise for the team this year. In the dirt, it's 1-0. He's had a straight steal of home earlier this season against NC State. This Louisville crowd pretty quiet at this moment as Miami's taking the lead. 2-0.
I'll tell you what, Bivin is just having trouble commanding the strike zone early. It's putting Miami hitters in good counts to do some damage.
Two 2-0 the count to Ogden. The pitch in the air, right center field. Lucas Moore on the run, and the center fielder tracks it down right in front of the fence. And Panthers facing the Stallions at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. The winner will face the winner of the Defenders Battlehawks in the UFL Championship game on Saturday, June 14th on ABC. Rooftop seating at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville.
Puppies allowed.
Alex Alicea leads off for Louisville. Miami leading 1-0 at the top of the third. I could never convince my dog to go up on the roof.
That's a little scary, I feel like, for a dog, right? But he's up there. He's having fun.
Must have lots of treats. Alicea squares and takes outside, 1-1. Alex Alicea is the player that Dan McDonald considers the heart and soul of the team. Nobody embodies the fight of this Louisville team, says their head coach, quite like Alex Alicea does. He is a real favorite of his head coach. The sophomore shortstop from Milwaukee hits it in the air to center. Torres makes the catch. Leadoff man gone to start the third for Louisville. Back to the top of the order with Lucas Moore. There's a pup.
I don't know if he does, if he is happy. He's got that. Oh, there he goes. Now he's sitting. Now he's happy.
He's getting squeezed a little bit.
It's like, you know, the dogs who are afraid of lightning get that cozy wrap.
The thunder shirt.
The thunder shirt, yeah. Same
Those,
concept.
I wish those worked for my dogs so they didn't sit on my head in the middle of the night when there was a thunderstorm. Lucas Moore takes ball 1. 1-0 Miami in the third. Moore has not been on base yet in this Super Regional. He is the engine of the Louisville offense. Takes outside, 2-0.
And you're right, Miami has done a really good job of not letting Lucas Moore on. 0 for 6 so far in this region, in the Supers.
2-0. Sliced foul out of play. I mean, he is a dangerous base runner. 48 of 49 in stolen bases this year. He stole 50 bases in a high school season once in Ohio. Now, Ohio is not South and does not have a particularly long high school baseball season, but he still stole 50 bags in a year. He's ahead in the count here, 3-1.
Well, the thing, too, is that when Lucas Moore gets on, it just helps the hitter as well. Because all of a sudden, there's going to be a lot more fastballs coming to those hitters.
Upstairs, ball 4. And Moore on base for the first time. Well, the personnel on the roof has changed significantly. This is today, right now. The group there. This is yesterday. Apparently they got
a little suntan yesterday.
Yeah, it was raining all day.
It was raining, but that's what happens when Moore is on the bases. All of a sudden, as a pitcher, you know the numbers. You know 48 for 49 on the stolen bases. You know that he is trying to do everything he can to get to second base at this point.
I was talking to Moore the other day about his base stealing, and I asked him a little bit about his mentality, and he said greediness is the word that comes to mind. He said, I am greedy. I want that extra bag. And he's convinced the only time that he was thrown out this year, he forced the jump. He's going here. The throw from Smith is not in time. Stolen base number 49 for Lucas Moore. And the tying run in scoring position for Louisville in the third.
Nothing that you could do there if you're Tanner Smith. He had a great jump. And even with Hughes being fairly quick to home, there is nothing you can do. Lucas Moore read that one really easy.
Which was a strike decline, so the count 0-1 to the catcher. The pitch in the dirt, 1-1. Klein played just half the regular season because of a broken hand in return for one plate appearance and an inning defensively in the ACC tournament. And Louisville's lost to Pitt. He's been a key offensive contributor for them. Ripped on the ground to first, and a nice play by Gonzalez. That nearly ate him up. 2 outs. Renzo Gonzalez's hands are terrific. It's like a middle infielder's hands on a left-handed thrower.
I mean, he looks like a middle infielder at first base. That ball was hit hard off the bat of Matt Klein. And Renzo Gonzalez just able to stay with it, stay composed, and get over to first base.
2 outs, man at third. Zion Rose hit into a double play, his first trip. Leading run producer for Louisville this year. Takes a breaking ball low, 1-0. 1-0 Miami, top of the third. Miami, the home team. Don't be confused by both teams wearing white.
When you look at where the defense is playing, there's a lot up the middle.
Dumped down the right field line and foul. Gonzalez giving it a chase, but unable to get there.
Miami kind of playing Zion Rose to hit that ball more into the 6 hole than right back up the middle. You remember when he hit into that ground ball double play, that ball was right back up the middle. So it's weird to me that they would be kind of playing in this kind of defensive situation with man on third and 2 outs.
Breaking ball right back through the middle, and the game is tied. Zion Rose delivers a 2-out single. I don't know if defensive positioning would have helped there, but you're right on the way he was approaching that at bat.
Yeah, just trying to take it. And here's the thing, too, as a hitter, if I'm up there and I see that you're giving me a big lane right back up the box, it changes what I'm trying to do. And I say, okay, fine. Now I know that I can just kind of hit a ball hard, maybe to that left side of the base. So now all of a sudden I stay on a breaking ball, which is exactly what Zion Rose does. Stays on that breaking ball and drives it right back up the box.
Eddie King Jr. has been red hot down the stretch. The cleanup man, the senior from Chicago. He swings and crushes one deep to left center field. 3-1 Louisville. Eddie King Jr. brings Jim Patterson Stadium to its feet with his 16th of the year, and Louisville is answered with a 3 spot in the third. Oh, and the umpires are getting together now, and I wonder if they're concerned about how far out of the dugout Louisville was after that. There's been a big emphasis, Gabby, on ensuring that there is not taunting going on. Both of these teams, I feel like, are pretty respectful teams of the opponents. I don't see a whole lot of that, but I'm curious if this is just a warning, like, hey, keep it a little bit under control. They're very concerned about emotions getting high, which I understand. Miami season is on the line.
Yeah, Miami season's on the line. I don't know what really happened on there, and I don't think that Eddie King Jr., I know when he hit it, he kind of stood at home plate as he walked, kind of looking at the ball, but I didn't see anything of it.
Here's what the celebration looked like. You can see King is wearing the helmet in the dugout. We know that A.J. Gracia has been suspended today for Duke, and they had a team celebration with their backs turned
Maybe that
to the
was
field. It could just be a warning in that, hey, this is something that we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And again, the umpires, the last 2 seasons in particular, have been hyper vigilant about this. They are very concerned about taunting an opponent. 1-2.
But boy, what a big at-bat by Eddie King Jr. And all of this was with 2 outs. Kind of on the same thing on Miami's side in the bottom of the inning. With 2 outs, Louisville was able to come out and score some runs.
Pike stays alive, 1-2. We'll visit with Dan McDonald, the Louisville head coach, after the top of the 3rd. So giving it some instruction to his freshman first baseman, Tate Davis. Here comes the 1-2. Pike in the air to shallow right. Coming in, Derek Williams will make the catch, and the inning is over. But Louisville scores 3 times.
Try to stay ahead. Again, they got good hitters. They're going to make you earn it. So we just got to be aggressive in the zone and not try to force it.
You know, Mag, it's been 6 years, I think, since you guys have been to Omaha. What would it mean for you to get one of these next 2 games?
We're trying not to even go there. You know, it's just more about this journey. I want these kids to enjoy this journey. I mean, look at this place. I mean, look at the fan base, the city, the excitement. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, I talked about that this week. Like, having been to Omaha, I've been blessed to go as a player and as a coach. Like, the super regionals, like this weekend is the best weekend in college baseball because of the 16 teams trying to advance their season, you know. So you want them to enjoy it and have fun.
What is it about groundouts to Kamayu neighbors while you're on with us? That one was a little more routine than yesterday. So
yeah, I always say I'm not a superstitious guy, but I'm a winning routine guy. So if that's a winning routine, I'll keep this headset on for 9 innings.
Mac, we appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Dan McDonald, the head coach of the Louisville Cardinals. He mentioned he went to Omaha as a player in 1990 with the Citadel. 5 appearances as a head coach here as Daniel Cuvée hits. Louisville had only been to 1 regional all time before Dan McDonald took over 19 years ago. Now it's 15 regional appearances and 10 super regions. Powerful Cuvée takes low. They count 1-1. Cuvée hitless so far in this super. 2-1.
And one of the big things with Cuvée is patience. And that's what he kind of has to learn a little bit more. Sometimes he gets overly aggressive. You look at where they're playing him right now, everybody's on that left side because he has been in pull mode.
It's that one to right center. Moore going back, still going back. He's got room on the warning track to put it away for out number 2. A little bit better there from Cuvée, trying to stay to the middle.
A lot better, especially after his first at-bat. Ball got in on him, kind of just popped it up to second base with a runner on third and less than 2. That one, you can see kind of driving it the opposite way, just gets a little bit underneath it. But that's when he starts going good, he is driving that ball to that area.
2 outs for Dorian Gonzalez Jr., 3-1 Louisville bottom 3. Miami needs to win to keep their season alive. And a bouncer to short. Alisea will toss to first in a 1-2-3 inning of just 9 pitches for Tucker Biven. We'll visit with Miami.
Max, I think, kind of helped him out there swinging that 2-0 fastball down out of the zone. So you got to get him up. He's got a really good sinker. You got to get him up in the zone.
JD, kind of looking at what Griffin Hughes is doing, kind of rolling there early on, had a tough one in that last third inning. What do you expect from him here moving forward?
I just like to see him a little more aggressive with his breaking ball. He's kind of feeling his way through it, a little tentative, and kind of yanked hit a couple left-handed hitters there. So just be more aggressive with it and just attack, man. Just keep attacking.
JD, before we let you go, this team you've talked a lot about has gotten very, very close and got very close very quickly. Why do you think it was, and what's it been like coaching this group with everything that they've been through this year?
It's been a lot of fun, man. It's a great group, man, and just want to keep playing as long as possible. But all the credit to them. They put in all the hard work, and they, great locker room, great clubhouse, and all the credit goes to those guys.
JD, as always, we appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thank you.
JD Arteaga, the head coach at Miami, went to Omaha 4 years as a player with the Canes. Literally retired out of spring training, right?
Yeah.
Was in spring training with the Rangers in 2003 and got a call in the middle of the college season from Jim Morris as Monroe hits this one to deep left. That one going back to the fence. Does Galvin have room? No, it's gone. Jake Monroe with 3 homers in the regional, or super regional, excuse me. 6 runs knocked in, 4-1 Louisville. That ball just kept carrying. Well, a 3rd homer of the day brings the shirts off.
That's what it is.
Davis through the right side. That's a base hit. I didn't think when he hit it that ball was getting out from Monroe. I saw the exit velocity 104, but man, that one was really skied to left field.
I mean, he just got a bunch of backspin on that ball, and it just kept carrying and carrying. Wind slightly blowing to left field. But you're right. As soon as he hit that ball, I said, oh, he must have just gotten underneath it, but he didn't. That ball was gone.
Bob Evans getting loose, and JD Arteaga's going to the mound, and generally this means it's time for a pitching change. Is this going to be it for Griffin Hughes?
This is going to be interesting. And the way that I'm looking at Griffin Hughes right now, he's definitely not happy. And I think that JD is going to get the ball and take it from him.
Hughes and Siskar both have struggled and been out early. And disappointment for the junior transfer. Kamayu Neighbors squares to bunt and pushes it to first and foul. Griffin Hughes out after 3+ innings. Remember, he threw a complete game in the regional and just didn't seem like he had the sharpest command. You talked a lot about that, really struggling with that breaking ball.
Yeah, he was struggling with the breaking ball and all of a sudden became fastball heavy. And when he would throw the breaking ball for a strike, it was up in the zone. And I think what happened there with JD Arteaga is he saw that second time through the lineup, started to get touched up a little bit, so decided can't give up anymore, got to go to the bullpen to see if you can, one, stop the Louisville offense and keep the game right where it's at. So you bring in Evans. It's a good fastball, 90 to 93, has a slider, will throw a changeup as well.
Carson Fisher getting loose, the key setup man for Miami, as Neighbors fouls it away. On the bunt attempt, it's 0-2. There you see Carson Fisher getting loose in the Miami pen. He and Brian Walters are probably going to have to play a bigger role than anticipated today because Miami cannot afford to fall behind very much. They don't have an offense, Gabby, that's really built for big comebacks. Playing from ahead, they can tack on. But really outside of Cuvée and maybe a little bit of Derek Williams, they don't have a ton of power to hit that big 3-run homer when you're down a bunch.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, when you talk to JD Arteaga, it just seems like whenever they fall behind, hitters are trying to do too much.
Neighbors bounces one through the left side on the 2-strike pitch. And Louisville has runners at first and second with nobody out in the 4th. Sunday night baseball. We have baseball's best rivalry, the series finale between the Red Sox and the Yankees. 7 Eastern, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern. Baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. You see Tino Martinez's name. He paid for the press box here at Jim Patterson Stadium 20 years ago because his brother-in-law, Lalo Prado, was the head coach. Alicea bunts, and it's a good one. Renzo Gonzalez only play will be to first. And the sacrifice puts 2 more in scoring position for Louisville with 1 out in the 4th.
And these are going to be really big at-bats for Louisville right now. It's going to be lefty-lefty matchup. But with 1 out, Louisville is going to try to do everything they can to get both these runners home. Miami, they understand where they're at in this situation. They're going to be playing infield in. They're going to try to cut that runner off at home.
Moore squibs it off the end of the bat. Cuvée will look the runner back and fire to first to throw out the speedy Moore. And that is a massive second out for Rob Adams.
Moment, but that's not an easy play for a Cuvée either, because that ball was hit off the end. There's going to be a lot of spin on that baseball.
And you got to hurry your throw with Moore running, and a breaking ball hits Klein, and now the bases are loaded for Zion Rose.
There's been 3 hit by pitches already in this game, all of them on breaking balls.
Rose knocked in the first Louisville run on a breaking ball that he hit back through the middle. He leads this team in RBIs, and now Tanner Smith and J.D. Arteaga going out to the mound. And once we're through the lefties, Arteaga's going to one of his biggest relievers, it looks like, as Carson Fisher set to come into this game. J.D. Arteaga knows exactly how important this moment is. Miami trying to keep their season alive, down 4-1 in the top of the 4th inning. And this is probably about, 2 innings earlier than he would have liked to have gone to Fisher.
Yeah, he definitely did not want to go to Fisher this early in the ball game, but this might be the ball game, which is why Fisher is coming in. Yeah, bases loaded, then Zion Rose coming up to the plate. So you have to go and you have to bring in your high leverage guy in this situation. Now, Fisher is a guy that can go multiple innings. He's gone 2 innings plus in a bunch of games this year, even went 3 innings against FIU in a midweek game. So Fisher is a guy that can make.
Murray State, as Duke tries to get to Omaha for the first time since 1961. And Murray State is the 4th Missouri Valley Conference team in the last 5 years to make it to Supers. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Last year, Evansville pushed Tennessee to the brink, winning game 2 in Knoxville.
That's why you gotta love baseball. You never know what's gonna happen. I mean, you look at the regionals this year, the number 1 and the number 2 seed out.
Yeah. Big at bat in this game as Zion Rose will face Carson Fisher. Miami setup man. Teg Davis at 3rd. Kamayu Neighbors at 2nd. Matt Klein at 1st. 2 outs, 4-1, Louisville leading. A win for Louisville sends them to Omaha, and a pickoff play to 2nd. And Kamayu Neighbors is going to get caught in a rundown. They're running at both runners and throwing to 3rd is Dorian Gonzalez Jr. And a huge pickoff play by Miami gets them out of the inning. What a decision. What a play.
I'll tell you.
Williams, Renzo Gonzalez, Tanner Smith against Tucker Biven, and chopper foul, 1-1. That was just a sensational play. I mean, I don't think anybody in the ballpark was expecting a pickoff play to 2nd with the bases loaded.
I told you in between innings, I'm like, I was picked off on that play too. That was the last thing that I would expect to be run. Bases loaded, you do an inside move to 2nd base. Wow.
1-2. But now Miami has stemmed the tide. I mean, it looked like this game had a chance to get away from them. Now they have to start chipping away. Williams to short, and Alicea can't find the handle. And the leadoff man reaches for Miami in the 4th.
This is going to be an interesting decision here for the scorekeeper. They're going to give it an E6. That was going to be a tough play for Alisea just because of how far he had to run and try to get around that baseball. Derek Williams, he can actually run. He gets down that line really well. And that ball, you can see Alisea is trying to get it two hands to be quick to get it out, just couldn't finish the play.
They gave him an error. Leadoff man on for Miami. They've had a lot of chances with men on base in this Super Regional. They are just 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Renzo Gonzalez hits 0 for 1, squares the bunt. It's a good one. It'll move the runner along. And
this is a set play. This is something that they probably talked about when J.D. Arteaga was out there of, hey, by the way, let's try doing this one play. Something that they practice. This is not something they just threw together.
Gonzalez ran him all the way at third base, to third base. And generally, you want the guy going back to the base. But what did you see in the way Dorian Gonzalez Jr. handled that play?
Well, what I liked is that Dorian Gonzalez stayed. He didn't try to rush anything. He was under control as he was taking that runner to third, understanding that if you get them both there.
Tanner Smith in the air to left. Rose broke back, comes in to make the catch.
If you get them both to third base, you tag both of them, one of them is going to be out. So you kind of bring him there, and once he saw, okay, now I see that back turn, because that's what you're looking for. You're trying to look at Neighbors to turn his back to you, because then that means he's in a straight run. He gave up that ball, and it was out at third to Cuvée.
2 outs. Jake Kulikowski hits. He singled past the first baseman, Tag Davis. His first trip, just his 4th start of the year. A chance for a big 2-out knock for Miami. Kulikowski's hit set up the 2-out base hit from Michael Torres in the second, and he rolls that one past Neighbors into right center field, a base hit. Jake Kulikowski makes it a 2-run game with a big 2-out single.
And both Miami hits with runners in scoring position have come with 2 outs in today's ball game. Kulikowski, that's a nice number to call if you're J.D. Arteaga, understanding you want some more power, you want some more hitter in the bottom of that lineup. Kulikowski comes in and delivers another hit, now 2 for 2 on the day. And this is a big one, especially after what just finished happening in the top half of that inning. To score a run, get something on the board.
Here we go, kid, let's go. Finish it here, time.
Michael Torres knocked in the first run for Miami. Bottom of the lineup, helping out today. That was one of the questions we had on Miami. Can they generate enough offense, enough traffic for the top of the order to take advantage today? They've been the run producers so far.
That's been kind of the point for Miami this season. It's been that bottom of the lineup. They know what they have in the top and in that middle.
Chopper to first. Davis backhands him, will race to the back. No, a foul ball. Foul ball called by Billy Van Raphorst. And the first base umpire, David Ewell. And Davis can't believe it. That play has been in front of first base. I do not believe it is reviewable. And I think Dan McDonald asking the umpires to talk here. That is the home plate umpire's call before it reaches the bag. Foul ball is the call.
Yeah, I didn't think that they were going to change that after that decision was made. And it's where that ball is. Does he catch it in foul territory? And that's what you have to look at. There was a lot of spin on this baseball. It started to work out. You see that jump. And where is he catching it? Hard to tell from where we are.
I wonder if because he backhanded it, if that's what ended up causing that to happen. But there's, again, a play that's not reviewable. Michael Torres gets second life and is behind 0-2.
Well, the other thing that it does is it makes Bivin now throw extra pitches.
Louisville fans getting to their feet, trying to get Bivin out of this bottom of the 4th. Throw over and the runner back. Bivin set, and the 0-2. Torres off the end of the bat, shallow center. It's going to fall for a base hit. Kulikowski chugging to third. And Miami has the tying runs aboard for Jake Ogden in the top of the order. The Louisville fans letting the umpires know how they feel. Time he's facing Bivens today. Miami, who had really been scuffling offensively, starting to catch a couple of breaks here. Now they have a chance. Ogden crushes one deep to left center field, and Miami takes the lead. The Miami players have a saying that that's Ogden baseball. That's Ogden baseball right there as they get their lead back here in the fourth.
They needed a...
This crowd is stunned by the turn of events from the pickoff of Neighbors to end the inning, the top of the frame, to now this, a 4 spot for Miami as they reclaim the lead. Galvin 0 for 2 takes outside. It's 2-1.
Remember how we talked yesterday, and we talked a lot about kind of getting back that momentum from one side to the other, and you looked at what Louisville had, bases loaded in that pickoff play.
Galvin slices one down the left field line, and that will one-hop against the fence. Max Galvin's third double in 2 games, and the inning continues with Cuvée coming up.
And we talked about momentum, and that's kind of what we're seeing. In yesterday's game, it was different. It was bases loaded for Miami, and all of a sudden, Patrick Forbes was able to strike out 2 Miami hitters in that second with bases loaded. And what happened on the flip side? Louisville went back-to-back homers, took the lead, and never looked back. For Miami, bases loaded, they got a huge pickoff. And what did Miami do in return? Kind of the same thing that Louisville did, score a bunch of runs.
Error on Alisea started the inning. All of the runs scoring for Miami today with 2 outs. And now here's Daniel Cuvée, who flied out to deep right center his last trip. And they are going to put him on. I wondered if that was the case. And it'll bring up Dorian Gonzalez Jr.
Well, the last 2 times that a team intentionally walked Daniel Cuvée, you got to go back to regionals, and it was Columbia. Columbia did it twice to Cuvée. What happened? Well, Dorian Gonzalez Jr. hit the ball over the fence twice, hit a 3-run homer, and hit a grand slam.
Dan McDonald is coming out to the mound, and it looks like he's going to take the ball from Tucker Bivens here. After Miami takes the lead with the left-handed hitting, Gonzalez coming up. Wyatt Danielewicz is going to enter the game. 5-4 Miami, bottom of the 4th. This Hurricanes team that has felt like they've been playing for...
More of a split finger with that change.
First pitch fouled off to the left and out of play. That was a pretty healthy hack from the senior. As Gabby mentioned, Gonzalez had a huge regional with 3 home runs. All of a sudden, the mood has shifted. You see Griffin Hughes there with the mustache and the specs on. He was the starter for Miami and looked downtrodden when leaving the game. 0-2.
I feel like, too, that's what this kind of Miami team, and when we're speaking with J.D. Arteaga and the way that this team plays, that they really have become a family, trying to pick each other up.
0-2 the count. This Louisville crowd trying to get back into it. Swing and a foul just off the end of the bat. Oh, his breaking ball moved a lot. I don't know how Gonzalez got a piece of it.
And Danielewicz, especially lefty-lefty. Boy, that's a tough pitch to try to stay on and drive it. But you have to think, if you're a hitter, to really work the other way. Now, he does have enough on that fastball when he comes in, and it could jam a lefty, but you almost have to sell out and look out over the plate.
The 0-2 on one hop to Neighbors. He will throw to first, and the inning is over, but the damage done. Miami scores 4 times, 3 on the Jake Ogden homer. They have the lead, trying to keep their season alive as we head to the 5th. Louisville takes a strike, 0-1. Rose was at the plate when Kamayu Neighbors was picked off second base with the bases loaded to end the 4th. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. You know, we've mentioned that a few times, Gabby, and both that and then the error on Alisea.
Yeah.
I don't want to make excuses for them. That's a play that Alisea normally makes, but you talked about it with the Neighbors pickoff. Like, that is so unexpected. It's very difficult to put too much blame on him for that. Grounder to second, and the leadoff man gone in the Louisville 5th.
Because it's something that's so unexpected that nobody was thinking about it. And the only ones that were was everybody in that coaching staff on that Miami side of thinking, you know what, this is a tough situation with one of the better hitters in NCAA baseball in Zion Rose coming up. Is there some trickery that we can have? And they were able to pull it off.
Eddie King Jr. cracked a 2-run homer his last trip, and he takes the ball low, 1-0. King out of Marian Catholic in the Chicago, and he has been on one. I believe that's what the kids say these days, right? Is he is on one?
I don't know. Maybe.
You have kids?
I don't understand what they're saying half the time.
LOL.
That's laugh out loud, but that's more our side.
I guess that's true.
We have the beeper codes.
2-0. A strike, it's 2-1. There's Fisher with that pickoff play to end the 4th, and he's probably going to have to give Miami 3 innings. It is just a 1-run game. Breaking ball down low, 3-1. Boy, he's got a big breaker, doesn't he?
It's a big 12-6 breaking ball. Got a good fastball to go along with it too. He can, and he's the kind of pitcher that can pitch up in the zone.
Here goes the 3-1. King hit by a pitch, and he will reach with 1 out. Taking a little extra time as he got hit on the right forearm, it appears.
Yeah, it was the right forearm. That's the thing too, because Fisher has that good fastball.
First pitch to Pike. Popped to foul and out of play. Pike missed a couple of weeks earlier this year with a knee injury. He suffered a hyperextended knee in the Friday game against Florida State, trying to track down Miles Bailey liner to right that ended up going for an inside the park 3-run homer, and was a big difference in their loss in that opener to Florida State.
Looked ugly too. He was wearing a brace and still has that brace on that front side underneath the pants. You can see the outline of it, but boy, that looked really bad when it happened live.
In the dirt. 1-1. We happened to be here that weekend for that series. And Michael Lippy did a nice job filling in admirably for Pike, but they wanted that left-handed presence in the lineup. And within a couple of weeks, he started taking pinch hit bats. And he is good enough that he has been rotating in the outfield with Eddie King Jr. and Zion Rose. Not playing every day, but playing 2 out of 3 in right. He takes low, the count 2-1. Five for Miami, top of the 5th. Miami trying to keep their season alive. Louisville looking to punch a ticket to Omaha. 3-1 to Pike. And the sizzling hot Jake Monroe, who's homered 3 times in the first 2 games of Supers, is on deck.
Still got to be careful with Pike too, because he showed yesterday that he has opposite field power.
Runner bluffs going, he takes ball 4. And here comes Monroe. Jake Monroe, a solo home run in the fourth on a ball that he backspun out of here. As Laz Gutierrez is going to take a long, slow walk out to the mound to talk to Fisher.
Just trying to get Fisher right back into the zone. Had that fastball that ran away from him, hit Eddie King Jr., and then there to Pike. Just kind of inconsistent in that zone.
Brian Walters is getting up in the Miami pen, their closer. Now, Walters opened the season in the rotation, and one of the big moments was him going to the end of games and A.J. Siskar becoming a starter. Siskar suffered the loss yesterday. This is just light tossing, but Walters, the younger brother of Cleveland reliever Andrew Walters, who was a two-time All-American at Miami, is starting to toss if they need him. Big spot here with Monroe up. Seems like we've had 20 big spots already in this game. Monroe bounces it foul. It's 0-1.
And I think that's what Laz Gutierrez went up to talk to Fisher about, and it was just about getting on top of that baseball and working down in the zone. Because when he works down, that sinker really dives down and gets a lot of ground balls. When he's up, it goes more side to side.
The 0-1 outside.
So up in the zone, kind of moves side to side, basically into a righty's barrel. That's when it can get hit hard.
Louisville really took the sinker baller Siskar and stayed inside the ball very well yesterday. You talked a lot about that their approach was more to the middle of the field. Monroe can't hold up. It's 1-2. Not a whole lot of noise right now from this Louisville crowd. Miami holding the lead in the top of the fifth. The pitch. Called strike three. Fisher at the bottom of the zone gets a huge second out.
I think that just surprised Monroe. I don't think he was looking for a fastball in that situation. I think he was thinking off-speed pitch. This fastball working down in the zone. Great sink. Surprises Jake Monroe for the strikeout looking.
Fisher not out of the woods yet, though, as he has to face Tate Davis, the home run leader on this Louisville team, the freshman first baseman. Tying run in scoring position. 18 home runs this year for Davis. First pitch, swing and a miss. 0-1. Late movement there, kept it off the barrel.
It was, and of course, too, why? Because he's down in the zone with that pitch. So it has that run, but it also has that sink. But you see where Miami is playing. Dorian Gonzalez is playing in that turf in the outfield because that's kind of where Davis likes to hit the ball.
0-2.
When he hits it on that ground, it's going to be somewhere in that four-hole area.
Fisher trying to get out of this jam. He's starting with a hit by pitch and a walk with one out. Try and keep the lead for Miami in the fifth. The 0-2 outside, 1-2. Hasn't really felt like the tension has started to ratchet up here yet. I wonder if you'll start to feel it more in the crowd if Miami gets out of this inning.
You're Davis right here. You really have to work about staying inside the baseball and driving it the opposite way.
Swing and a miss. Fisher gets out of the jam with a pair of punch-outs, and Miami holds the lead.
The line, but the umpire who is looking right at the play, seeing where that ball is to where that line is, inconclusive to me, conclusive to him, to David Ewell, the first base umpire.
And after that, the inning unraveled for Louisville. Derek Williams takes a strike. It's 1-1. Louisville's kind of hit their first patch of adversity in this super regional. Miami now trying to capitalize on the momentum after the 4 spot in the 4th. And Derek Williams pops it up. On the infield, Neighbors waving his arms, and the second baseman grabs it for out number 1. Renzo Gonzalez, a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning. Dan McDonald talked about the adversity that his team faced even in regionals. They did not play exceptionally clean. They did not walk as many guys as they have over the course of the season. But they were still able to win games, and they viewed that as a positive. You were on the Miami regional, and it seemed like the Canes played very good baseball defensively.
They did. And that's one of the things, too, especially with the guys who they have on the mound who kind of throw a bunch of ground balls. The defense played exceptionally well, making all the plays, especially up the middle with Dorian Gonzalez and Jake Ogden.
We talked earlier, Renzo Gonzalez is an outstanding defensive first baseman. Michael Torres, the young center fielder, very good. Fabio Peralta not getting a start today, but excellent defensive first baseman or center fielder as well, who plays right for them.
And kind of when you win around the whole entire infield, Cuvée had himself a very good defensive regional. Made a ton of nice plays over there at third, the hawk corner.
3-1. And the count goes full to Renzo Gonzalez. Three-two, fouled away. The pitch, fouled down the left field line and out of play. Eighth pitch of the at-bat upcoming for Gonzalez. Down low, ball 4. A very good at-bat for Gonzalez as he reaches with 1 out.
Something that we have seen out of Miami today. They've been having a lot of consistent ABs where they're taking the tough pitches. They're fouling off close ones. They're leaving pitches that are down in the zone, getting their walks, getting guys on base.
It's a very close pitch. I believe Van Ramphorst's been
very
fairly consistent at the bottom of the strike zone, yeah. Tanner Smith bats. Van Ramphorst, an experienced umpire, was in the Pac-12 for years. Has a lot of Omaha games under his belt.
He's been staying inside the strike zone. Pitches that seem to be a little bit off, he hasn't been calling it. You got to get it into the strike zone.
Tanner Smith hits, and that one, he hit him. He was trying to skip out of the way. And 2 on with 1 out for Miami, leading by a run here in the 5th. The NCAA Super Regionals coverage continues this weekend across ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN Plus. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Jay Kulikowski will bat. Basically every hour, another super regional getting underway. Later today, Tennessee and Arkansas, and a really big one in the SEC. Kulikowski takes a strike, 0-1. 5 ACC teams remaining. That's the most of any conference. They had 9 make the tournament this year. ACC has 4, SEC has 4 left. They had 13 to make it, a record. Outside, 1-1. Obviously, an ACC team will come out of this super regional. Florida State playing from behind in Corvallis after they blew a 3-run lead in the 9th inning yesterday to Oregon State and dropped the opener there. North Carolina trying to finish off Arizona today. Duke will get underway in just a little bit against the Murray State Racers for the Missouri Valley Conference. Kulikowski has been a big part of the offense today. A pair of hits for the DH, making just his 4th start of the year. In the dirt, good stop.
Boy, that is a very good stop by Klein. That ball was ticketed to the backstop, which would have moved the runners 90 feet, and somehow he was able to glove that baseball.
Here's the 2-1. 3-1.
And listen to me, I used to catch before. These were the tough ones, and it's those pitches that are down in front of home plate, especially on a turf field, where you're going to have more bounce, to somehow be able to just glove it and keep it in front.
Swing and a miss. 3-2. Miami by a run, batting in the bottom of the 5th inning. Looking to extend the lead instead of toss to second. Now in this spot, with the left-hander up, there's no way they're going to start the runners here.
No,
right?
I wouldn't think so,
no
especially
chance.
with Torres, up. Worst case scenario, you get back to the top of the lineup.
Called strike 3. A perfect pitch from Daniel Levitch for out number 2.
Boy, Daniel Levitch, what a painted fastball right on the outside corner. Klein does a great job of getting that baseball and bringing it back into the zone.
2 outs for Michael Torres. Torres, a pair of hits, including one with 2 outs to knock in the first run for Miami and gave them the lead in the 2nd. He takes outside. Count 1-0. Jack Brown, Ty Stark starting to get loose in the Louisville pen. Foul back. 1-1. I have to think that there's a good chance that the freshman Brown, the righty there, is getting ready for Jake Ogden, right? Or Daniel Cuvée, maybe?
I mean, I probably for both, if it gets to that point.
Well, you could go right, left, right, with Stark going against the lefty and getting another righty up. Beyond that, but you start playing matchups in the pen here. A slap foul, 1-2.
Kind of looked the way that Torres has been swinging the bat, letting that ball travel. Got that first base hit, and it was to the opposite way. The second hit was the one that he blooped into center field. But again, letting that ball get deep, not trying to pull.
This partial crowd trying to get behind the junior left-hander Daniel Levitch. The 1-2 outside. 2-2. Seems like the stunning 4-run 4th inning has finally left their mind. Now they're starting to think of ways that they can hold Miami off the board. Encourage their offense to come back. Here's the 2-2. Slap foul. Boy, his at-bats really have been good. They've gotten better and better over the course of this year, haven't they?
It's just the way that he's approaching his at-bats right now. And understanding, too, against a lefty, you're going to have more success if you're trying to let that ball travel and use the opposite field, especially a guy like Daniel Levitch, who has the good breaking pitches, and he tries to throw off that outside part of the plate to lefties.
2-2. Tapper, right side. Going to be a tough play for Daniel Levitch, who throws him out, and the inning is over. Miami strands a pair to the 6th. They lead Louisville. Kamayu Neighbors leads off a single as last time and then was picked off to end the 4th inning. And he slaps a pop-up in the air to shallow left. Ogden called off by Galvin, who makes the catch for out number 1.
That was a last-minute call by Galvin. Ogden doing a good job of getting out of the way.
One out for Alex Alisea, number 9 hitter. He's a switch hitter, but has only been batting left-handed recently because he has a thumb injury that has affected him for a while. He was in the leadoff spot, 2 spot in the order for most of the year.
You can see the wrapping on that thumb over the batting glove.
A strike. It's 0-1. And I would have to think that if that thumb would be your bottom hand, right-handed, right to
You have no
left hand,
chance.
and so
No
there's
strength.
really difficult to hit. I'll say it bunts it foul. It's 0-2. They kept him in the 2 spot in the lineup even while he was dealing with that and still trying to switch hit, just because I think Dan McDonald really likes his presence at the top. But this lineup works well with him at the bottom, and he had a couple of big hits for them in the regional, especially in the final against Wright State, a 2-run single to put things out of reach. The Milwaukee native chops to first. Renzo Gonzalez going to have to race to the bag and just did get there for out number 2. A strike, it's 0-1. Moore has reached base just once so far in this super regional. Of course, he stole a base and scored that one time. Miami's done a very good job with the offense as catalyst for Louisville. It's a big reason why they're still in this super regional. Outside, it's 1-1. It was stunning that the Cardinals scored 8 runs yesterday without Moore getting on base. The 1-1, a strike, 1-2. Fisher trying to post a 0 here, get Miami's bats back to work. Moore slaps it foul and out of play. It feels like next inning is going to be a key inning to tack on if you're Miami. They have the top of the order coming up. The 1-2. Just outside, 2-2.
Right where you want him, kid.
The pitch. And the count goes full to Moore with 2 outs.
Yeah, that's one thing with Moore. He does not expand in the strike zone. You do not see him swing and miss a lot. And you've got to throw that in the box for him to be able to even think about swinging.
The 3-2. Moore up the alley, left center field, moving over. Galvin makes the catch at a 1-2-3-6 for Fisher. 5-4 Miami as we go to the bottom of the 6th, the game 2 of Supers.
Both Ogden and Cuvée. It's a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup mix. Fastball 90 to 92, but you're right. The problem has been throwing strikes.
Lands a breaking ball for a strike. 0-1 to Ogden. Ogden 2 for 3. He doubled off the starter Bivin to start the bottom of the 1st and was stranded. But the biggest hit of this super regional so far for Miami. 1-1. The delivery. 1-2.
Now landing the breaking ball right on the outside corner. Start him off with it. Both the strikes have been with that off-speed pitch.
base hit into left field. Ogden with 3 hits today, and the leadoff man aboard for Miami in the 6th.
A big day for Ogden, especially after yesterday's ball game going 0 for 5. 3 hits today, a double in the 1st, a homer in the 4th, and here a base hit in the 6th.
Is there any doubt that Jake Ogden was going to show up with the season on the line? I mean, this guy is just a baller.
He is just a baseball player.
Max Galvin has 3 doubles and 4 hits in the Super Regional. He's been the hottest hitter. Ogden is a threat to run. Throw over and he's back. 13 of 13 in stolen base attempts for Ogden. Top part of this lineup will run a little bit for Miami. They don't have the reputation that Louisville does. And Klein controls the running game very well. Oh, he only played 16 games behind the plate this year, but coming into this Super Regional, but he threw out 31% of base runners that tried to steal against him. Ball 1 misses high to Galvin. That didn't look like a fastball that you want at the top of the zone very often, did it?
No, it didn't. And I think for Galvin, too, probably made me thinking off-speed pitch here. It's one he's been able to control for a strike.
Got something off-speed, and he pops it up. Long run for Alice, Sayed, Rose, and Monroe, and it falls harmlessly to the ground, 1-1.
I wonder if the Miami hitters were kind of start to look at that and realize, you know what, maybe the fastball he's not able to control, but the off-speed pitches he is able to control. He has that slider and the breaking ball that he's throwing for strikes.
And the talented freshman sat against Galvin. Did not play last year at Oklahoma State. A couple of years in Miami-Dade Community College before that.
Keep on in that zone, kid. Let's go.
The 1-1. That one in the alley to left center. Moving over is Zion Rose to make the catch. Out number 1, Ogden to second, and here's Cuvée. The good news for Miami here is that there is not an open base right in front of Daniel Cuvée. Gabby, 2 plate appearances ago, he flew out to deep right center, and that's what you've been saying through the first 2 games of the Super Regional, right? He needs to get back middle of the off-field.
Especially seeing him in regional play. First game, he drives the ball out of the ballpark to right center field, and then after that, kind of got a little bit pull happy. He carried it over into supers, and now you're starting to see him get back to that right center zone.
Takes down low, 1-0. He is a very dangerous hitter. One of the great freshman seasons in Miami history a year ago. Got red hot midway through this year and helped to carry them. Fort Lauderdale native waits. 2-0.
For him, it's about being patient at the plate and understanding what pitchers are trying to do to him. Kind of early on in the season, he was struggling with that, where all of a sudden he started to just be swing heavy, and he just started to swing at everything, and then got a little bit more patient, and that's when he got red hot.
The 2-0, bounced foul. Power has always been Cuvé's calling card going back to high school. He is the son of a former professional highlight player. I was asking him a little bit about that. I said, did you play much with your dad? He's like, no. But he would bring out, what do they call it, the caste, the wicker for it, and he would throw them ground balls and pop-ups with it in the backyard, him and his brother.
Probably launched those things in the air with that thing.
Inside, and they count 3-1. I said, how hard did he whip it at you? He's like, he can control it pretty well. So
just imagine, those things come out hot. You can get over 100 miles an hour with that wicker basket.
3-1 the count. The pitch. Chopped to third. Monroe to second for 1. On to first. That's a double play What a turn by Neighbors to get Louisville. That he has worked, and a great resource today. Does that help to explain it a little bit to you? I know I got that question on Twitter, too, about like, okay, well, isn't that supposed to be the home plate umpire's call?
Listen, we both had that same thought process of, usually we see that play, the home plate umpire is the one that calls it, it's in front of them. Now it makes a little bit more sense where they talk about, since it was closer to that first base umpire, and also the look at each other to say, hey, I got it, this is what I see, and calling that play.
Zion Rose takes a strike. It's 1-2. It was a big moment in this game because it kept the inning alive. Michael Torres then delivered a base hit, and after that, Jake Ogden, a 3-run homer that gave Miami the lead. Roller to third. Cuvée has it. Throws to first. Rose retired. And Fisher set down the first two here in the Louisville 7th. Eddie King Jr. will bat against Fisher. That's now 7 in a row set down by the right-hander. He's getting into a little bit of a jam in the 5th. If they can get him through the 7th, you might see Brian Walters for 2 innings today. First pitch, King hits a high fly ball, deep left center field, back to the fence, he's tied the game! The senior captain delivers his second long ball of today, and we're even at 5. First pitch to Garrett Pike, swing and a miss, 0-1. Eddie King Jr. with the curtain call after his second blast. Boy, has he turned into a good player for Louisville.
Talk about getting these fans on their feet. What a swing by Eddie King Jr.
Pike takes outside, 2-1.
And I mean, listen, I know that Zion Rose gets, a lot of the attention with the Louisville team, but Eddie King Jr. has had himself an unbelievable season.
Fouled away, 2-2.
Seems like when they need that big hit, boy, he has come through today.
He was the most outstanding player in the Nashville Regional. All ACC performer this year, and he has been on a tear. As Pike takes low and the count goes full. Jake Monroe, who has 3 homers through these first 2 games, is on deck. The payoff. Swing and a miss, and the inning is over, but Louisville even trying to punch their first ticket to Omaha since 2019. Miami trying to keep their season alive. The hopes of their 26th Men's College World Series appearance in school history. The senior from Chicago has made this a brand new ball game as Dorian Gonzalez Jr. bats. Fouls it away, 0-1. Talking to Dorian Gonzalez Jr. the other day about this season, and he has a long-standing relationship with J.D. Arteaga, and one of the things that he talked about was that they had this team meeting after a loss to Stetson, and J.D. kind of got into them, which isn't J.D. Arteaga's M.O., And then there was a players-only meeting that they had after that kind of cleared the air. But he said that every Wednesday they've had team meetings to try and build culture. And Gonzalez drives that one to right. It's going to be over King's head and one hop against the fence. Gonzalez chugging for second. The throw not in time. And the senior second baseman is in scoring position to start the bottom of the 7th. And there's his proud father, the former.
To be honest with you, kind of where you're looking at the lineup right now, I'm letting Derek Williams swing the bat. I understand you want to get that runner to third, but in a certain situation like this, Williams, there's power in that bat. I'm letting him swing it.
0-1 the count. Boy, Davis charging way in, and the bunt goes to third. Nicely done by Williams, as Monroe will throw him out. I mean, Davis was breathing down his neck on that play. He almost could have shook hands with him. Visit and maybe make a pitching change here. Louisville was getting ready to play the infield all the way in. It is the 7th inning. And it looks like the lefty Stark is going to enter the game. Stark coming in. We'll tell you about the situation here in a moment. Louisville, Miami tied at 5 in the 7th. First rounder against a West Virginia team that made it to Super Regionals last year for the first time and have a chance to get to Omaha in the first year under head coach Steve Sabins. That's a really fun West Virginia team. They are very good. It's going to be electric in the box. Those kids aren't afraid of the box, I don't think.
They're not, but I'll tell you what, if you're a lefty and Ty Stark's on the mound, this is going to be a tough AB because of where Stark throws it. He's not an overpowering guy, but he is 6'6", and it's a drop-down sidearm release. It's 82 to 86 on that fastball, and it's a ton of sliders, 73 to 78.
Infield all the way in with the go-ahead run at third, one out in the bottom of the 7th. And Gonzalez punches it through into left field, a base hit, and Miami reclaims the lead. Renzo Gonzalez, not known.
And tacks on a run.
Tanner Smith, the hitter. First pitch, he bunts up along first and foul. And the Bluebirds out on a foul ball up the first base side because obviously, as we talked about earlier in this inning, in the top half of the frame, a key call went against Louisville. That helped lead to the 4-run inning for Miami on a fair foul call up the first base line. Tanner Smith to right. It'll chase King back a couple steps to make the catch for out number 2. Bring up Kulikowski. Eddie King Jr. had tied the game at the top of the inning with a solo homer. Kulikowski inserted into the DH role today. Just his 4th start of the year, has a pair of hits. And it looks like he is going to be called back.
That's a tough lefty-lefty matchup, and I feel are they gonna? Yeah, they're gonna bring in the righty.
Yeah, this is Evan Taveras, the freshman catcher.
Power in this bat.
Oh, he has some serious juice. Finished the game behind the plate yesterday, but listen, that is a limited amount of plate appearances that he has 3 home runs. And watching him take batting practice, I was at the Light earlier this year for the NC State series. Holy smokes, can this kid hit some tanks. Over to first and the runner back.
Yeah, Taveras is a guy that I know JD Arteaga, talking with him, is hoping to take huge strides next year and be that starting catcher for Miami.
They have the core of a really good lineup with Torres, who's had a good day today, Fabio Peralta, and Taveras. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. But I'm going to go on a limb and say that he's not coming up here to try and fillet one the other way and keep the line moving for Torres.
He's looking to see if he can send something out of this ballpark.
He's behind behind 0-2. Stark lands a couple of breaking balls.
He's got a couple of pitches there that could have been able to handle on that fastball. It's tough, though, with that way that Stark throws and how much that ball is moving in towards a righty.
Here comes the 0-2 instead of throw to first. Louisville fans have been into it on every 2-strike count today, trying to help their team get back to Omaha for the first time in 6 years. Another throw to first and the runner back. Gonzalez not really a threat to run.
No, he's not going anywhere.
Stark to the belt, and the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Frisbee breaking ball punches out Tavares to end the 7th. 7 of that regional to advance to supers. First pitch to Monroe. Swing and a grounder to short. Ogden has it, throws to first, 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out. And one of the hottest bats for Louisville retired.
Now, Walters can run that ball up there to 96, 97, even 98 miles an hour. In regionals, he was at that 97, 98 for most of the time.
Tag Davis, the freshman first baseman, 1 for 2. Home run hitter, swings and misses, it's 0-1. A freshman record at Louisville this year with 18 home runs. Takes inside. 1-1 to Davis. He has massive power to all fields. The 1-1. Skies one on the infield. Renzo Gonzalez sprinting in, calling for it. 2 outs. And with 2 outs, Nate Early, the transfer from Florida Southwestern, is on. Pinch hitter for Kamayu Neighbors, and he inside outs 1 foul. Boy, he got tied up really badly by that fastball.
It's not easy to come off the bench, not seeing pitches, and all of a sudden see a fastball that moves that much at 94, 96. So just a little bit late there. Early has a lot of power in that bat. 3 home runs on the season.
Cincinnati native swings and fouls it away. He's hitting for Kamayu Neighbors, who was maybe the biggest moment of this game in the 4th inning. Louisville had the bases loaded with 2 outs. And Neighbors was picked off by Carson Fisher, who had just entered the game as a reliever. He was the runner at second and got picked off. Miami scored 4 in the bottom of the inning to take the lead. They now lead 6-5. Early takes outside. 1-2. The pitch. Swing and a foul at the plate. Early just did get a piece. Able to stay alive.
He's starting to get a little bit more on time on that fastball. Last couple of swings, starting to get that bad head out. It's a big, strong kid.
Walters trying to make very quick work of Louisville here in the 8th, make him more efficient in the 9th. The pitch off the end of the bat and foul. Walters isn't always as sharp in the 2nd inning, but boy, if he can get through this at around 10 pitches, you gotta feel better about your chances if you're Miami.
Well, too, it doesn't look like Walters is trying to throw as hard as he usually does when he comes into the game.
The 1-2. Foul and played again. Yeah, you wondered about that adrenaline rush, right? Coming in, you've got the lead, you're on the road. But the crowd isn't very loud, and I wonder if he kind of was able to settle in because of that. Certainly getting a one pitch out of a key batter in Monroe helps.
Yeah, and two, I think that because of the situation, understanding going to probably go to 2 innings, maybe holding back a little bit.
Swing and a miss. Walters a perfect 8th. And Miami 3 outs away from extending their season and forcing Game 3. Ogden baseball has been the rallying cry, but Miami would love to add an insurance run here. Torres from first pitch, fouled away. It's 0-1. Torres only 1 stolen base on the year. See what Ogden's done at the plate. Out of Coral Reef High School, which means that he was a Coral Reef Barracuda. It's got to be one of the better high school nicknames. I think Barracudas, you think horror movies and the band Heart, I think, before you start thinking about Coral Reef High School.
That is very true.
I mean, really,
not too many Barracuda out there for mascots. I'd love to see what that mascot looks like.
A Barracuda. I do respect the fact that they resisted the urge to call themselves the Coral Reefers and just play Jimmy Buffett tunes, but that 0-2 the count to Ogden. 6-5 Miami, bottom 8. Top of the order looking for insurance here. The pitch. Soft fly ball to right center. Lucas Moore over to make the grab. And that's the first out. Torres back to first. Max Galvin has a double in 4 trips. Action of the bullpen. TJ Schlageter. Colin Hartman getting loose. Remember, behind Galvin is Daniel Cuvée, who is the biggest power threat, the biggest offensive threat in this Miami lineup.
Here we go, Todd. Let him turn it for you here, kid. Let's go. Go, Todd.
First pitch, fouled away. 0-1. I don't want to get too far ahead, but looking ahead to the Louisville 9th. Alex Alicea, the number 9 hitter, who hit at the top of the lineup before thumb injury, so for most of the year. And then Lucas Moore, Matt Klein, the scheduled hitters, with Zion Rose, if anyone gets on. So the best hitters for Louisville are coming up. Alicea, not your typical 9-man. The 0-1. 0-2.
Yeah, that's why if you're Miami right now, you kind of know where they're at in their lineup. You know their really good hitters are coming up. Alicea is one of those guys. And you have speed with Alicea, you have speed with Moore. So insurance runs, that's going to be key in this inning.
Torres back to first. The 0-2, soft fly ball, shallow right. King will have to play it on a bounce, a base hit. Galvin's second of the day, and it'll bring up Cuvée with 2 men on.
Well, if you're Miami, you got the right man up for the situation. Needing him to come up big here in the Super Regional, has a chance to give Miami some insurance runs. Now, he's been doing it all season long. 81 RBIs that led the ACC, 17 home runs on the season, and 19 doubles.
0 for 3 with an intentional walk. He hit into a double play his last trip. First pitch to the slugger. Up and in, straightened him up. It's 1-0. Boy, if you're Stark, you have to be very careful. If you Cuvée, this is not an overpowering guy. It's a funky arm slot, but he could really create some distance for Miami here. Throw to second, excuse me.
And that's hitless right now. Cuvée has been for this Super Regional. You look at what he's done in the Super Regionals. 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position in this Super with 3 strikeouts.
Well, he is, it feels like, due for one of these big hits. And he crushes one to deep left field. Rose back to the fence. It's gone! There's the insurance Miami needed. Daniel Cuvée, a 3-run homer. They lead 9-5.
Well, he's not hitless anymore with runners in scoring position. He is their 3-hole hitter for a reason. He has been big all season long. And with first and second back against the wall, boy, what a big swing by Cuvée.
Gonzalez to second. Hot will throw him out. 2 outs. Here's the home run from Cuvée.
And here it is, just nice and easy. Gets a fastball out over the plate. That's not a powerful swing. That's just a powerful man. Flips the wrist, just getting over that wall in left field.
2 outs for Fabio Peralta. Entered the game defensively. In the top of the 8th, they have silenced this Louisville crowd. We talked earlier, Gabby, that Miami was a team that couldn't fall behind by very much. They were behind 3 runs in this game, right? This is a very big comeback for them. But it felt like things were turning in that 4th inning, and the Neighbors picking off a runner from second base with the bases loaded and 2 outs, a play you never see, that no one in the ballpark expected, completely flipped the momentum of this game.
It did, and we talked about that momentum even in game 1. And it was Louisville who took advantage of that momentum when they had Miami had bases loaded. And Patrick Forbes was able to strike out both Michael Torres and Jake Ogden. And all of a sudden it seemed like that flipped up momentum back to Louisville's side. They ended up hitting back-to-back home runs with Pike and Monroe. Seems like today it was the opposite way, where Miami was able to do it.
Peralta down on strikes, but Miami this Super Regional takes a ball 1-0. He walked and scored earlier. He's been on base just once through the first 2 games. Miami's done an exceptional job with the catalyst for this offense. The pitch. Bounce back through the middle, a base hit. Alisea around third, he'll score. And now the 3-run homer from Cuvée looms huge as Louisville's on the board trailing 9-6.
We talked about it last inning. Not going to be easy with this Louisville batting order. They have guys up and down the lineup. They put the ball in play. They don't really strike out as a team.
And a very quick conference called by Tanner Smith, the catcher. There is action in the Miami bullpen. Will Smith, who was one of the heroes of the regional for Miami, getting loose in the pen.
We talked to J.D. Arteaga, and it was about Brian Walters and him being on the mound and throwing multiple innings. J.D. told us, 2 innings is his max. Doesn't like to go out there for that 3rd, but not taking any chances at all, getting somebody warmed up.
Matt Klein's been on base twice today via hit by pitch. Moore dives back. Moore stole a base earlier. He has 49 on the year. Would he really be running down 3? Boy, he's got a huge lead.
I mean, he always has a big lead, and he doesn't, being down 3, trying to stay out of the double play.
Bluff's going, and Klein takes a high strike. It's 0-1.
And that's the only thing that I would be thinking with Moore here. Trying to see if he can maybe swipe second and stay out of that double play, understanding that he can get back. with Walters on the mound.
The 0-1, 1-1. Klein just back into the everyday lineup in regionals after missing half the season with a broken hand. Walters set, runner goes, the pitch is low, and that's stolen base number 50 on the season for Moore.
You can see that Moore wanted to swipe second. Had a big lead off of first, wanted to go a pitch ago, just didn't have the right jump, waited for the right time.
It doesn't look like it's altered the defense very much for Miami. As Klein takes a strike, perfect fastball, 2-2.
Really, Miami right now is just trying to play for outs. They're going to be playing their defense where they feel like they should. Not really worried right now about Moore at second.
2-2. Count goes full. And the power in the Louisville lineup lurks in the on-deck circle with Zion Rose. Three and two the count. The pitch to Klein. Ball four inside, and the tying run comes to the plate.
Boy, if you're Louisville, this is exactly what you wanted in this situation. Get the tying run to come to the plate.
The first three men have reached in this inning. A run is home, and Laz Gutierrez, the pitching coach for Miami, going to try and slow things down. This is the loudest this crowd has been in Louisville today. They can sense the rally coming. Down 3 in the ninth. A win today sends them to Omaha. A Miami win forces Game 3 tomorrow as Zion Rose hits. The Chicago native grew up working out with Eddie King in the on-deck circle. Looking to come through in a big spot. First pitch from Walters inside, 1-0.
I tell you what, it doesn't get any easier after Rose either with Eddie King Jr. on deck. This is the power for this Louisville offense coming up.
2-0. Chop foul. 2-1.
All right, if you're Rose, too, you want to kind of get a pitch a little bit more elevated. You want to get this ball in the air. You don't want to hit the ground ball.
Moore with great speed at second. Klein away from first. The 2-1. Chop foul, it's 2-2. And Walters could use a strikeout here. The 2-2. Swinging a harmless fly ball, shallow right. Peralta streaking in, makes the catch, and a big first out. That was as good as a strikeout.
Well, for Louisville, you have the right man up. Could be the hottest hitter in college baseball right now. Already with 2 home runs on the day. He's 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs.
You heard the fans chanting Eddie King Jr.'s name as he digs in. Tying run at the plate, top 9, swing and a miss. Tied up with 95, 0-1. Remember the first 3 reached, and Walters was behind 2-0 on Zion Rose. Takes inside, 1-1, no swing on appeal.
I'm trying to see Walters on the mound, not trying to let Eddie King Jr. get any type of extension. Trying to run that fastball in on the hands.
Tied the game in the 7th with a solo home run. Had a home run back in the 3rd. He chops it to short. Backhanded by Ogden. His only play will be to first for out number 2. A heads-up play by the shortstop to not try and force it.
Not a tough, I mean, that's one of the tougher plays you're going to see from a shortstop coming in. That ball hits right in front of home plate, and the thought process always is when that ball hits in front of home plate to come in charge. But the way that he was able to backhand that short hop, not an easy play at all. Stays with it, and just like you said, smart, trying to just get the out at first.
So now Miami 1 out away from forcing Game 3 of Super Regionals. Garrett Pike takes low, 1-0. He's the last chance for Louisville today.
There is some power in the bat. Had a solo home run in yesterday's ball game.
Jake Monroe on deck, who has 3 homers in the Super Regional. Pike to center. Torres calling for it. And Miami has forced Game 3 of this Super Regional. The Miami Hurricanes, who've had their backs against the wall all year, are taking this Super to the limit. They beat Louisville 9-6, and Game 3 will be here tomorrow at noon Eastern on ESPN.
Wow, what a game. And listen, Louisville had the chance in that 9th inning to tie it up. Had a couple guys on, tying run up to the plate. Miami was able to get the last out.
The final today, Miami 9, Louisville 6. Winner take all game tomorrow at noon Eastern on ESPN. The winner to Omaha. For Gabby Sanchez and our entire crew, I'm Mike Farron saying thanks for joining us in Louisville. Now we send things to Baton Rouge with Dave Neal and Ben McDonald for West Virginia and LSU.